Welcome back, or welcome if you are a new viewer. Today I will be going over the combo lines for the Generaider Runick deck that I showed off in my last video. I will be going over just a really quick deck profile because there were a couple changes that I made to the deck since that video, and then I will move on to combo tutorial for the different combos that this deck is capable of doing, along with some randomized test hands. Just to go through deck profile real quick: 3 Vala, 3 Lopter, 1 Har, 1 Udgarda, 1 Mardell, 3 Boss Stage, 1 Terraforming, 2 TG Rocket Salamander. This is where the changes come in. I added one more copy of Screw Serpent and 1 more copy of Werewolf. The reasons I added these cards were because of the bricky nature of these cards. They are worse than Rocket Salamander, but they're not completely useless. Now, if you draw them, it's not great, but it's far from the worst case scenario. And it means that there's usually at least another copy in the deck. And then, of course, 2 World Legacy Monstrosity. 3 Runick Destruction, 3 Runick Flashing Fire, 3 Freezing Curses, 3 Slumber, 3 Tip, and 1 Fountain. Then, of course, 2 Kaku, 1 Arcjet Lightcraft, and 3 copies of Cerebus, and 1 Called by the Grave. That's the main deck. Now, the extra deck: Sleipnir, Freki, Gary, and Hugin, QB Shinshin, Crockett Dragon, Cloud Castle, and Ib the World Chalice Justiciar, Fanatix Machinix, Infernatrek, Earthslicer, Hyperiton, Leviatine, Jormungandr, World Gears of Theological Demiurge, and then, of course, Barricade Board Blocker. I believe in the last list I had a different card, but I put this in just because, of course, we draw cards like Werewolf more often. Having an option to just use that random extender isn't bad, and it can recur a field spell from your graveyard, which is not bad by any means, and it protects your field spell. So with that then, now I'm going to show you the 1 card combo that this deck has. It's technically a 1.5 card combo because it does require a discard. However, all it requires is any discard. So with TG limit removal, you activate TG limit removal and you discard any card from your hand. Then with TG limit removal, you will search a Werewolf and a TG Rocket Salamander from your deck. Next, you normal summon Rocket Salamander, and then with Rocket Salamander on field, you go Rocket Salamander, pitch itself to then special summon Screw Serpent from the deck. On special summon, you will chainlink 1 Screw Serpent and chainlink 2 Werewolf. Werewolf will then special summon itself from the hand, and Screw Serpent will special summon Rocket Salamander from the graveyard. Then with that, you will use Screw Serpent and Rocket Salamander to go into a level 5 Synchro from your extra deck. That is where you summon Ib, the World Chalice Justiciar. And on summon, Ib will search you World Legacy Monstrosity. And then, from the graveyard, you will use Screw Serpent's effect to banish itself, targeting TG Werewolf on the field to increase its level by 1. That gives you a level 4 Werewolf and a level 5 Ib the World Chalice Justiciar. And then, with that, you can make a level 9 Synchro. You've got Monstrosity in hand, and typically, I like to make Ravenous Crockett Dragon. Off of Crockett Dragon, because you used 1 non-tuner in Werewolf, will get you a singular draw. Doesn't really matter what the draw is. Then, you activate Monstrosity. World Legacy Monstrosity will target Ravenous Crockett Dragon. It is a water fish, so you can summon any non-water fish level 9 monsters from your deck. Typically, I would then summon Arcjet Lightcraft and Mardell, Generaider Boss of Light. Mardell on summon will then search you, your field spell. Then you use all 3 of them to go into Fanatix Machinix. And then, with Fanatix Machinix, as you see, you've got 3 monsters in your graveyard. You will use Fanatix Machinix to detach Arcjet Lightcraft to then give your opponent a monster from your graveyard. And because you just detached Arcjet Lightcraft, now it's in your graveyard, you can give it to them. That only works, though, if you already have monsters in your graveyard. However, with this 1.5 card combo, you do have a guaranteed 3 monsters in your graveyard at this point. Now, once you've given them Arcjet Lightcraft has the effect you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Machine Xyz monsters. Now, the fun thing about that is that they're locked out of the extra deck. At this point, activate Boss Stage, because then you can just pass here, and you can see with 1 singular card, you locked your opponent potentially out of the extra deck. This is a point of interaction. You have your field spell to special summon Har, and you got a free draw. Now, let's take a look at test hands. Alright, now, here's our test hand. Boss Stage, Cerebus, Runick Tip, Boss Stage, and Runick Slumber. Now, we would go Runick Slumber, special summon Hugin, the Runick Wings. Hugin would then activate to pitch one of the boss stages, to then add Runick Fountain from the deck to the hand. Then we would activate Runick Fountain, and then we would activate Runick Tip. Runick Tip, search something like Freezing Curses. We would activate Fountain at the resolution of Runick Tip to draw 2 cards. All right, we draw 2 cards, and this is what we have. What I can do here, and this is a simpler hand, is yes, I ended up working off of drawing Arcjet Lightcraft, but I can just activate Field Spell, and then I can set both World Legacy Monstrosity and Freezing Curses to my field. At very least, I have Boss Stage, which allows me to get something like Har out for an Omni. I've got a Monster Negate in Runick Freezing Curses, and with Monstrosity, I could potentially summon out something like Utgarda for my deck to then have layered interaction, so it's not bad. So with one final test hand, I would like to see if I could show to you just how resilient specifically the TG and or Generaider part of the deck is. So without further ado, let's do 3, 4, 5. Let's see if this deck has what it takes. Now, this hand inherently has a way to play around one hand trap. So, assuming our opponent has Ash Blossom and Imperm, we do not have to worry about the Imperm. But we do have to worry about the Ash Blossom. Now, we would activate Runick Freezing Curses to special summon out Hugin, and then our opponent would Ash Blossom the Hugin's attempt, discarding TG Werewolf, and now all they would have left in hand is Imperm. We would then, of course, activate TG Limiter Removal, discarding Lopter, searching, Rocket Salamander, and the second Werewolf. And then here's where that gets interesting. So we go normal summon Rocket Salamander, our opponent Imperms. We Serapis the Imperm, and now we have played through 2 hand traps. TG Rocket Salamander then pitches itself to special summon Screw Serpent from the deck, like we did in the 1-card combo tutorial. Give our opponent the Arcjet Lightcraft, locking them out of the extra deck, activate Boss Stage. As you saw, we were able to put all of this up, including not only that 1-card combo, we were still able to set up a board through 2 hand traps. So I hope this showcased you what this deck is capable of. Thank you for watching.